Now, Afghanistan women activists are in South Africa hoping to learn from the country's long and difficult journey out of apartheid. They say they want to draw on South Africa's experience as they continue to challenge what they describe as gender apartheid in Afghanistan, where women and girls face severe restrictions on their rights, freedoms, education and participation in society. So what lessons can South Africa offer, and how can those lessons help Afghan women in their fight? Joining me right now is to unpack this issue is Gaisu Yari, who's an Advocacy and Policy Manager for the Afghanistan Initiative at the Malala Yousafzai Fund, as well as the Afghan activist Horia Mosadiq. Ladies, good to have you on the program this afternoon. Gaisu, I'll start with you. Firstly, give us a sense of why you chose South Africa. Why did you choose South Africa, and why is this particular visit so important for your movement as well?
Thank you very much for having me. Greetings to everyone. It's not my first time to be in South Africa, and this is not the first time for Afghan women to be in South Africa. This is my second time, and this is so many times Afghan women actually enter to South Africans, because we do see a hope in solidarity in South Africa. We do see an opportunity where we learned from the movement and the resistance that has started in this country, and that is a learning process for us to end gender apartheid in Afghanistan. The reason South Africa is really key for us is because the essence of resistance starts from the communities. I went to the Constitutional Hill twice. I went to the women's jail. I actually learned how the youth, 70 years ago, the woman actually fought, the apartheid system here in South Africa, and that is an opportunity for us to learn, and that is the reason we are constantly coming to visit South Africa.
Horia, help us understand what gender apartheid is, but also what specifically are you hoping to learn from South Africa's experience of apartheid and the struggle of the past as well?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. As my colleague Gaisu already mentioned, for us, the reason that we are calling the situation in Afghanistan as gender apartheid is because in Afghanistan we have a government or de facto authorities called the Taliban, who was brought to power back in August 2021 as a result of an agreement between the United States and the Taliban, which resulted in the collapse of the republic, and the Taliban took control. The day the Taliban took control of Afghanistan, the first thing they did, they banned girls' education.
Right.
And that subsequently followed with a number of other policies, laws and edicts that was restricting the rights of women, from right to education, to right to employment, to right to political participation. The parks are closed for women, the gyms are closed for women, beauty salons were closed for women. Like literally they brought down the women to be confined into their four walls of the houses, and even they are saying that kitchens should not have a window so women cannot see the outside world. So the reason that we are calling it gender apartheid, because it is a systematic way of operation of one group over the other based on their gender. And the reason that we are being oppressed by the Taliban for the past 5 years is because we are women, and we were born women, and our gender is women. So, and also I think for us, South Africa is really, really key, because we are new in this fight to fight against gender apartheid. But you have such a long experience of fighting the oppression, fighting for the equality, fighting for the freedom. And last night I was just citing a poem, and I was saying that the African women are the daughters of fire and light, who are bearing the torch to freedom. And we want to follow that path. We want to learn from your experience of resistance, how you overcame all these decades of fights, sacrifices, and the hardship that you went through, and yet your spirit didn't break.
Right.
So this is like, for us, it is like we look at you as our leaders. We look at you as, as inspirers, and we are here to listen to your older generation. We are here to listen to your younger generation. Then I know that apartheid has officially ended, but then how you deal with the apartheid mentality. This is also so key for us. Maybe one day the Taliban will be gone. The way that they are now instructing the whole system is they are building the entire system against women. And once you're gone, how we are going to fight against the mentality of gender apartheid? This is also so key for us.
To take from Horia's remarks as well, South Africa has its own lessons learned, especially in the lead up to what has now become democracy in this country as well. But as we expand on this issue around gender apartheid as well, in practical terms, what does it mean for the women of Afghanistan?
I think what does it mean for women of Afghanistan is the simple answer usually is we want freedom.
Yeah.
We want to move out of our houses. We want the fundamental rights that are taken away from us. But I think one thing that's really important for the Afghan girls and the young girls in Afghanistan is with the fact that how South Africans are still mobilizing to fight the legacy and the struggle that they have still in South Africa. How that connection can actually be made between South African young girls as well as those in Afghanistan and who do not have the opportunities to get out of their houses. I think what it means also is it's the rule of law. It's the law.
Yeah.
I remember I came last time I was at the Constitutional Hill. We went to the men prison and went to the women prison. As soon as you're getting out of those doors, you actually see the High Court of the South Africa. When you enter the High Court, you have this feeling, me as an activist, as a survivor of child marriage, for me was that this is justice. Even if it's, for us, it's symbolic to see it, but I think the Afghan women and girls deserve to see that and experience that there is also justice for them and accountability for the perpetrators that have been perpetuating and criminalizing their rights in Afghanistan. And next week, actually, on August 15th, is the 5th year's anniversary of Afghanistan's collapse, that the Taliban are running their institutionalized system over women's body in that country and take hostage the women and girls of Afghanistan to maintain their power in that country.
Gaisu, still staying with you, you speak about your experience, especially with forced marriage. Maybe give us a sense, just to assist our viewers as well. Give us the backstory of what transpired.
Sure. I'm a survivor of child marriage. The Taliban kidnapped my father in 2000 when the Taliban was in Afghanistan between 1996 and 2000. So I experienced that. I was banned from school and I was not allowed to get my education. I didn't have it was worse, but at that time, because we didn't have internet, we didn't have the connection, we didn't have the skills to document their violations. So that existed. The Afghan women actually called it gender apartheid. So during the Civil War, I had the experience of being married to a really young boy at the age of 6. So my father got kidnapped by the Taliban because of that. And in 2007, I was forced to escape. Otherwise, I had to go and marry this man who kidnapped my father, who was with the Taliban at that time too. So therefore, I think what starts with me is that because gender apartheid is functioning in Afghanistan, the increase on child marriage is increasing daily because girls can't go to school, right? What does that really mean? It means that if you're in 6th grade, as soon as you finish 6th grade, your parents are going to think about your marriage. Sometimes you're sold, sometimes you're given to somebody to get some money to sustain your family. For me, I think my fight starts with, I stand for myself first. I stand for myself. I couldn't stand for myself back then because the Taliban was controlling. Right now, I do understand how these young girls are living in Afghanistan, right? And if I can be that voice to actually amplify what they are asking for, and they are calling it gender apartheid, then I would like to be that agent to transfer, those, feelings, those messages that they should not feel like they are alone. But I think one of the other messages we actually brought with us here was that they actually asked the South African young girls to stand with them in solidarity because they want to be heard. And I think the Afghan women in the past 5 years are feeling that they're really alone. So 5 years is half of a decade. Imagine what does that really mean 10 years from now, that we will not have any students who will graduate from universities. We will not have female doctors. Maternal mortality rate is going to be increased. Everything is going to be gone. The woman, half of the population is gone and erased because half of a decade is quite a very long time for the development of Afghanistan, and the Taliban is responsible for that.
Horia, we've heard about Gaisu's story, and by the way, thank you for sharing that story with us. But having listened to such atrocities as well, but Gaisu also mentioned something important when it comes to solidarity as well. I mean, international solidarity was crucial to the anti-apartheid movement here in South Africa. What kind of international support are Afghan women asking for today?
Well, this is also one of the reasons that we came to South Africa, because you are a leader in standing with other countries that are oppressed.
Yeah.
You were the first country that took the case of Palestine to ICJ. You are the country that you are standing with all the other oppressed nations. So this is why we came to you and we are asking for the global solidarity. For us, global solidarity means that, as Nelson Mandela said, if Palestine is not free, none of us will be free.
Yeah.
It's also true about Afghanistan. If the rights of Afghan women are being violated in that way, and if we are experiencing gender apartheid, then I don't think any woman will be free. And it matters for us a lot to have that fight and at the same time that solidarity coming from country like South Africa, but also from the other countries. For us, international solidarity means to stand with us, to listen to us, to lead us and guide us how we can continue with this fight. And when it comes to the bigger stages, such as we also want to codify gender apartheid, then for that, support of countries such as South Africa is really, really crucial. And this is why we are here to see if we can have that also solidarity from you.
Well, ladies, welcome to South Africa, and we really do appreciate your time this afternoon. That was Gaisu Yari, who's an advocacy and policy manager for the Afghanistan initiative at the Malala Yousafzai Fund, as well as Afghan activist Horia Mosadiq. Thank you both for joining us and sharing your perspectives and stories.